Hello, and welcome to the, what would we call this? The video version of Rad Raptor Radio. There we go.
Yeah. I don't know how it looks because I don't have the laptop.
I'd probably not be. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get on that right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Although I won't see like my beginning with my maniacal laugh.
You might. It might be delayed enough.
I need to refresh it. It won't now.
Ah, shit.
Way to go,
Great. Ruined.
We'll start the podcast like a minute because
Can you
this
see
has
that?
been pretty bad.
Yeah, I can see. I don't know the mouse though.
Oh, you
just
got
had
the
it.
mouse. Why are you so
I just
unprepared,
saw it.
Jeff?
Having a night. Having a night, guys.
You want Tim's
Oh, there we
inhaler?
are.
I think
Yeah.
it's within arm's reach.
Had to call Bobby in for like it's my last chance to like lean on Bobby emotionally until like he disappears because of
Right.
Oh, I should
child.
probably turn
Right.
turn the volume
Now we
down.
know we're watching ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah. Tim, no, this is not an auction night because I just got here.
No.
Tim wants to auction.
He's all ready to auction.
Oh.
He was ready to buy. We could sell
Yeah,
GoBots.
what do you want to buy, Tim? I got.
I'll
7
start the
bucks
bidding
here.
at $29.99.
For GoBots?
It's well worth it.
I love that book. I'm not sure it's worth $29.99.
Do we have any more of these? I
Yes.
should have got the variant of
The
this.
B
This was a
cover,
good
not
book.
so
You
much
liked it?
though. It sold very
Yeah,
quickly.
it's pretty good.
All right, no one's buying my books, so I guess we can go on from
Your
there.
SOL on yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
No one wants GoBots.
Are we at least all in the frame? Can you see all of us?
Yeah, we can see all of us.
Okay,
I could
I'm gonna trust your
move
judgment
my
there.
chair a little bit and get more of like looking at the camera pose, but then I just feel weird.
I don't ever look at it.
Usually Bobby sits in front of me, so I don't look quite so fat, which is good.
Work on that
I know. I
next week.
worked my way over. To
I know now he's like hiding back there. So
Trying to slim down
The
with someone.
spell
in
we
front
need
of
to
me.
we need to bring somebody else to sit right
Right.
here. So all you see is like my head.
Right.
I look far less fat if you can't see anything but my head. Then you're just like, that's a skinny guy with a really fat face.
I don't know. Jeff doesn't ever do us any favors.
No.
With how he sets all this up. It's just instantly like.
If it was over there and like I was hiding me partially behind the laptop, maybe.
We'll end up with a thing where we're all sitting behind a
Well, at
table.
some point, it'd be like in a stationary spot where we're all at the same
Yeah.
spot, so we can all fight over the spot where you
I
don't look
mean-
fat. So
Yeah.
We still got the Christmas tablecloth.
Yeah, I'll eventually get
I mean,
other tablecloth.
you know,
but snowflakes, which is very
it's very fitting.
works
for
well
right
for
now.
where it's been, and it's supposed to, I guess, be there next week again. So,
Yeah.
which I debated with my meeting tonight, calling off tonight and just letting you guys do it, and I was like, oh, next week we're supposed to have Snowmageddon done.
Are we supposed to have another snowstorm?
Hillsdale already issued a snow emergency for next week.
For
So,
next week. Oh
for
my
next
gosh.
week.
Thank goodness. I love how we had like no winter until 3 weeks into January, and
Yeah.
the winter decided to show
Shut
up.
up.
Yeah, schools are all canceled for like the third day of the,
This has been like 3 days in the last week now.
this
Has it
week.
been?
This will be the third day this week. They went to school on Tuesday though. That was good.
Yeah.
My kids have been to Florida, which is cool. I got a picture of Logan sent to me today of like there's this one shot like outside like all the Lego stuff outside of Disney. They have that weird Lego dragon,
Oh.
and there's a shot of me making like this dumb face, like I was 18 and thought like this is a silly shot to take. I'm going to do this. It's real dumb. I'm making this dumb face, but they got Logan to get in the same
It's
same
probably
exact
one of his
pose.
pictures from like a week ago.
Yeah.
It's probably his.
Now I've got hair. It's more than a week ago. So I'm excited to put that up side by side. But
Nice.
they've managed to miss out on all of this crazy Snowmageddon nonsense.
See, I worked it carefully where I went to Atlanta when it was still decent here,
Right.
and I drove back right into it to the point where I got stuck in, Ohio for 2 days, and nobody wants to spend 2 days in Ohio.
No.
So,
Well, yesterday people were sliding off the road going like 5 miles an hour.
yeah.
I mean, it was. I got up this morning and it was just ice
But
everywhere.
it's rough because, I do AM radio, and I mean,
You're the
I've
first
missed.
one on the road.
I couldn't go in Monday, and I couldn't go in again today. I had to call. I was like, I'd rather work here longer and not die because I feel like I'm going to die if I go. I stepped out on my porch even, and it was just, and you see you're kind of like holding both hands on the railing, trying to make your way down the porch and walking through the snow to get out to the car. And I mean,
you're penguin walking everywhere.
you see the road, and it's just like a glass, and you're like, it's not good.
Right.
I don't think there's any slow going on this one, so.
We figured we'd be going to the hospital and all this, but little man's still waiting, so.
Oh, yeah, you guys, maybe you'll be snow again next week when he comes.
Yeah, well, nothing happens. Monday's the day.
That's right, and snow again.
Right,
So
we'll be there.
That's perfect.
We'll already be there. We'll be there right before it.
When my son, he was born, they had a blizzard the night he was, like, we took him in, and she was in labor for 24 hours. I didn't realize, like, we had gotten hit by a blizzard, and, like, for the next 3 days, like, all of Lansing was closed down, and so I only ended up missing, like, 1 day of work by the time it was all said and done.
Right.
Because it was all, but the first time I went outside after it, I was like, whoa. Because it was, I mean, he was born in April, so it was a late snowstorm. No one was expecting it to hit so hard. And it's Michigan. It's the joys of living in Michigan. It's why we live here. Hey, Lonnie, how's it going? James, it is Michigan. Yes.
Right.
See, I like talking to the computer people. This is fun. I should look at the camera when I
don't know
talk
if
to
you
them, though.
should
Right?
refer to
Lonnie,
them as computer
how's
people.
it going?
Right.
How's it going, computer people?
Yeah.
Everybody likes that.
It was a good day in the shops. It started real slow because of the weather being bad.
Oh,
and
this
then
morning it was horrible out.
Yeah, about like 1 o'clock, it started feeling like a regular Wednesday, and then all the people that usually show up first thing in the morning started showing up. So it was a good Wednesday.
Yeah, light day in comics in general, but it was good. People came in, so.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got here. I only read 10 books this week, so.
What are you doing?
Well, it wasn't a whole lot to read, so.
I don't know. I don't read that much anymore like I used to. I'm enjoying the lessons.
It actually works. I've been cutting down a little bit. I feel like if I cut down a little bit, as long as I don't cut down into areas that you guys are reading, it's okay because we still get everything covered. So it's just wait the end of the year when we're all sitting there shouting at each other, and I'm like, "It's Batman! Give it to Batman!" It'll be all that much more fun.
It's a 5 Wednesday month this month, so like things are a little spread out. But I like that. I didn't read that yet. I did make sure I grab it. So.
You need to grab it. Yeah. Good.
Go Teen Titans, go.
Yeah. I did see you were bugging me about the passwords. You did hook up the DC Universe thing.
I've hooked it up before. It's on Fire now, so yeah, you can watch it on your Amazon Fire stuff and all that. So.
Did you watch anything on it after bugging me?
Yeah, I watched virtually the entire first season of Teen Titans the cartoon.
Okay.
Well, my 5-year-old wanted to watch it, and so I wasn't about to watch it.
Titans.
I've watched the first, I think, 3 episodes.
Okay. I finished the second season of Punisher on Netflix tonight.
That's what you said.
That shit is really good, really good.
It's the lane to watch that.
Yeah, it's.
I've been watching. I finished season 4 or 5 of Stargate SG-1 tonight, and so what happened was I've been reading these Stargate comic books and been really lost.
Is that the one that comes out every 6 months?
Yeah.
One was supposed to come out this week, and it got delayed into whenever. I
was heartbroken, but so I thought, well, and the comic books are about Stargate Atlantis and Stargate Universe. But I felt if I'm going to rewatch those, I have to get all the basics. So I started in SG-1, and there's 10 seasons of that. And then there's 5 seasons of Atlantis and 2 seasons of Universe. So I have 17 seasons of Stargate to watch. But I'm through about the first 5. They just defeated the Replicators. For anybody who's wondering, the Replicators, they're gone.
I just know I'm caught up on Orville, and that show remains
Orville's
so good. Holy cow, is that show good?
I haven't watched that either.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
And new season of Discovery started, and that was really good. I like Captain Pike in that. They gave Pike a very no-nonsense-y Kirkian attitude, which makes sense since Pike was originally going to be Kirk, but people didn't like Pike in the test audience, so they replaced him with Kirk. And they even did the colored shirts when they stopped at the Enterprise, and like they beamed over and they were in like yellow, blue, and red. So they weren't like the velvet of the original series, but they had like the same. And they even commented, they were like, "Yeah, these are the new uniforms that Starfleet's issuing." So
I haven't watched any of Discovery yet.
Yeah, that's sad.
I did read.
You once called yourself a Star Trek fan, not anymore.
They got it behind that weird dumb paywall, and
it's $5.99 a month.
The Orville is what I want, which is TNG, but just more TNG. Like, it's pretty great. I did read...
Except for the fact they would never spend an episode about peeing on TNG.
Well, I don't know. There's enough Ryza episodes to make me think that it was possibly going to come up.
Hey, by the way, the Chicago Bulls are down at the end of the third quarter. It's officially 98-83.
I did read a review, though, about the new season of Discovery that was positing that it's trying really hard to be the Orville. I don't know if that's actually the case.
I would not have guessed that in any way, shape, or form.
They said like it was trying to do a lot of really dumb jokes, but
no,
I'm just repeating what I read. I have no idea.
I don't even know what we're talking about right now.
I think they've changed the captains because it's a weird with Discovery. Like every other Star Trek show has been about the captain first and foremost, and then the crew is.
They changed the way matter.
Well, so basically because Discovery is not about the captain, it's about Sonequa Martin Green, who's like, she was tried. She's a traitor. They bring her out. And so she's
Dimitri Martin Green.
Sonequa Martin Green.
Ricky Martin Green.
Yeah. Anyway, she was on Walking Dead, and now she's on Star Trek Discovery.
The color shirts they wear, does that actually matter?
Yeah,
does that mean something?
It's a running
Well, in Discovery they're blue, all blue, but
it's a running bit that if they're in red shirts, that means they're gonna die. That's like because it was accidentally a thing in the original show, and so
in the original series, the problem. Okay, so the original series, if you go all the way back to like the original Captain Kirk and Spock. Red shirts were worn by engineering as well as by security.
Okay.
And so whenever they beamed down to a planet, they would beam the captain, the first officer, the doctor, and the security guy.
Okay.
And so to create trouble on any given planet, somebody has to die, and you're not going to kill the 3 stars of the show. You're going to kill the unnamed security guy. And so the red shirt guy always died in the original Star Trek series.
They have yellow and blue and... Right?
Yeah, but those are weird.
The captain wore yellow, medical wore blue, science wore blue, security wore red.
So it became a running bit that like if you're wearing a red shirt,
Now when they went on and did the next generation, red shirts became captains, and so red shirt people didn't die anymore. Then yellow shirt people died because that was security.
But it's been a running joke.
It's kind of a running joke
in
Star Trek that red shirts died.
Star Trek's
too late now.
It's good. You should watch the Orville because it's like Star Trek but with dick jokes. Like it's fantastic.
It's like Deadpool Star Trek.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. They did spend episode 3. It was entirely about a guy's relieving day, which is the one day a year he pees, and he invites all of his family and friends to watch him pee over a cliff.
He's an alien. They pee once a year. So they have to divert back to his home planet to make like this huge ceremony about him peeing.
So he can pee.
The best though was the next episode, which was entirely about because he's in an all male race, and so he like.
This sounds horrible.
It's amazing. He commandeered the holodeck, basically stand in like the virtual reality thing, to like watch all his gay porn.
It was about his porn addiction.
Yeah. So he commandeers the holodeck so you can watch all the skateboard, and then he's like, I need edgier stuff. He ends up releasing a virus that brings down the whole ship, so they have to go into the virtual reality thing to fix it. So these guys are in there trying to fix it while all these like gay aliens are like, welcome to the pleasure palace. We're like, knock it off, we're trying to fix it.
Are they really gay aliens though if there's only one race?
I don't know.
That's an interesting thought.
It was really funny though. That show's great.
This is a Star Trek show?
No.
It's the Orville. It's the Family Guy made it. So
he wanted to be in Star Trek, and they would never let him be in Star Trek.
He was in Enterprise.
He made his own Star Trek show.
He was in Enterprise.
Yeah, but very briefly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! All right.
So essentially, he created, and it's every time I watch an episode, I sit and think to myself, I can't believe Star Trek hasn't sued the pants off this and stopped it yet, because it is a complete and total ripoff of Star Trek.
Yeah, but the actual Star Trek show is not a traditional Star Trek show from. That is Orville is like straight up and down. It's basically Next Generation.
Well, to a point, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Next Generation took itself much more seriously. Discovery is much more of a new feel in how they make TV shows now, whereas Orville is kind of the old 90s feel of TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is honestly what I want.
But it's interesting to say that's one is more Star Trek than the other, because Star Trek changed itself over the 40 years it was on.
But my favorite character left, so it's interesting to see, going forward. Like,
I think she'll be back.
Do you think so? They're replacing her next week, like with
Permanent?
this week, tomorrow. Yeah, with the same race.
Oh,
Although that
they
episode
do.
was great with her. They had 2 different Star Trek doctors on it.
Yeah. I want what's his butt though? What's his
How to
name?
get off of the
The
Star
guy-
Trek.
Who's the guy who played the Tick? Remember in the short Ticks TV? And he was originally the security chief, like that replaced her.
Oh,
The guy
yeah,
with the
he's
half
great.
elephant guy.
He's got like the elephant trunk that's going into his belly button. He's like,
Yeah.
can I just wear my sweatpants?
Like
on the
I
bridge?
really like that character because he's a fun actor too.
Yeah,
So
he's awesome.
I was kind of hoping to keep it.
You
around
should
a little bit.
honestly, you should watch the Orville. Like, I think you would actually get.
I probably would
some
like
enjoyment
that.
out of
That sounds funny. You're not getting me on Star Trek. I'm not doing it. Not happening.
One of these days, Bobby. One of these days.
We'll make you watch Star Trek too.
Yeah.
It's
Kyle, yes,
fantastic.
the Orville is great. Lonnie, yes, the Orville is great.
Thank you.
Kyle, I'm not
Validation.
making anything up at all. I don't even know what I was making up back then because I'm not actually watching this as they say. I just look down every so often.
Oh,
Everything I said is 100% accurate,
I'm sure.
sometimes slightly skewed as far as I remember it.
Slightly.
If you've ever watched me explain the origins of numbers of comic book characters, those can be a little on the skewed side of things. So.
We missed you last week, Tim. You weren't around for this.
I wasn't. I was not here.
How was Atlanta?
Warmer than here. Yeah, much, much warmer than here.
I saw you stop at a few tourist traps along the way.
Not tourist traps. I stopped at the first KFC that Colonel Sanders started.
Yeah.
That's not a
I-
tourist trap at
I
all.
walked on the same wooden floor that Colonel Sanders once walked on.
Okay.
Are the famous bowls there more famous?
I didn't eat a famous bowl because if you go to the first KFC, you get yourself a 2-piece. You don't even get extra crispy. You get original recipe. You get mashed potatoes and gravy, and you get the stinking biscuit.
I don't know.
2-piece meal.
Have you had a famous bowl? Famous bowl's pretty
They were
good.
on sale, but I was not going to fall in the trap of getting something that the Colonel himself would not have made.
Here's the thing about the famous bowl is it comes in a combo with a cookie and a drink.
All their
But-
combos comes with cookies now, though.
Yeah, but if you like are real nice and you're like, hey, can I just get a biscuit instead of a cookie? They give it to you, and then you get the biscuit in the combo instead of the cookie, which is what you really want.
I kind of know. The biscuit was kind of dry. I'll be honest.
We cover it in there like fake honey.
No, I dipped mine in the gravy.
I don't
But
know.
no.
I could go for
They've
KFC.
got a little museum
Famous
there.
bowls are
You
great.
can see a lot of things about. You can see the Colonel's original kitchen that he cooked in.
Yeah.
For example, did
What
you
was
know?
this kitchen like? Just normal
It was a
kitchen?
kitchen.
Yeah.
Did you know that started off as a breakfast place? The Sanders Cafe was originally a breakfast restaurant for
That's
his hotel
really-
next door because he was famous for his sugar-cured country ham.
He was like really old by the time he pulled off the KFC thing. Like he ended up rich, but like
Yeah.
he was like 50, 60.
Well, he was definitely getting up there when suddenly he was like, you know what? I've got these 11 herbs and spices. I should make some chicken. So
That's things we have to look forward to.
I will say
You haven't made it till you're like 73.
what was the tourist trap. So after we left that, I was like, well, we're going to want to stop again in a few hours. Let's go to the Moon Pie General Store in Chattanooga.
Okay.
Now, the Colonel Sanders place, it's like 5 minutes off the expressway almost. Like it was the
Yeah.
Moon Pie General Store. We had to like drive into downtown Chattanooga. So it took us like an hour and a half out of our way
Yeah.
to get there.
Did you get a moon pie?
Oh, yeah. So
Alright.
on the thing with it, it's often referred to as the Moon Pie Museum, but if you look at its actual name, it's the Moon Pie General Store. It's talked about, purchase America's favorite treat, the moon pie, great museum-like atmosphere, learn how moon pies are made, speak with the knowledgeable staff, tour the moon pie ice cream park. So there's all these things. So you feel like it's going to be something. It's basically a candy store with a big moon pie sign on the outside. I know nothing about how moon pies were made. There was no sense of a museum-like atmosphere in there. However, I did get a dozen moon pies because you can build your own box of any of the 5 flavors.
Did
And
you get a
so
moon pie? I didn't get a moon
I
pie.
didn't get a moon pie.
my kids,
Last week I gave out cookies.
my kids polished off those moon pies fast. It's funny because I brought them home, and the 2 older ones were both like, "Thanks, Dad, but I don't really like moon pies." And then, like, strangely enough, like the other day, Connor, I walked by, I was like, is that your third moon pie? He goes, there's just nothing else to eat, Dad. I gotta eat these moon pies. So I ate one moon pie. That's all I like banana moon pies. I'll be honest with you. I feel if I eat more than one moon pie, I'd probably die. So I had one moon pie at the store, you know.
What makes a moon pie a moon pie?
Well, it's graham cracker, marshmallow, graham cracker, and I always get the double-decker moon pies because then you get more marshmallow and more graham cracker, and then it's dipped in some kind of coating.
Like, usually chocolate, isn't it?
You get chocolate. You get banana is the second most popular flavor.
Banana?
Banana.
Banana is the second most popular.
Actually, in the South, it may be more popular. Banana's really big in the South. Like, they like their banana pudding, their banana moon pies.
Why?
Every Southern person I spoke to, they all like the banana moon pies, so...
Like segregation and bananas, that's like the thing?
I don't know if it's segregation in the South anymore. I think they overturned that a while
back. Just bananas now.
So, Patrick Warburton, yes, that's the guy who plays the elephant dude. Thank you. Sorry.
They're helpful.
Yeah. So I don't look down at us. So
they probably would have brought us a moon pie.
I like what Jerry had to say. I came on for comic talk, but I'm getting KFC talk. This is a win-win. So, right there. So, but no. So yeah, we stopped at the Moon Pie Museum, which was a complete and total tourist trap, and a round trip 3 hours out of our way. So, in the end, I highly recommend First KFC.
Yeah.
If you're in a hurry and you don't have to go into downtown Chattanooga for anything else, you may want to avoid the Moon Pie General Store. So.
I'm not avoiding that. I'm going.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That doesn't
well,
sound
and
like
you get
anything I want to avoid.
So for the double-decker moon pies, they're 99 cents a piece.
Right.
But you fill them at 12 into a box, you get the whole box for $7. Like, that is a good deal.
We could have got 2 boxes and we could have got some.
Well, had I known they would have went so quick.
I handed out cookies last week, but
I didn't hear last week. I got no stinking cookie.
Yeah.
You just want to keep your moon pies for yourself.
I know. We even heard about you being at the moon pie place and talked about it.
Yeah,
you would have known if you'd have listened to us.
I was going to someday.
Ridiculous.
Right? I know.
I've been listening to a lot of like audiobooks, and so like my podcasts are piling up behind me right now.
What are you listening to audiobook wise?
I've been going through the Sword of Truth again.
Really?
Because originally I only made it to book 5 because that's as far as they were that thing when I read it the first time.
Book 5, isn't that the one with the disease that gets set loose?
That's
Winds?
4.
4?
Temple of the Winds, yeah.
Temple of the Winds. That's, I think, as far as I made it. The first
so I'd read through book 5 originally because that's as far as he had written. But now there's like...
Stone of whatever?
Stone of Tears.
Yeah.
That's 2.
That's 2.
What's
5?
I don't remember. It's last time I read 5 it was 100 years ago.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
So, but yeah, so I read through 5, but then I was looking and I was
watched the show Legend of the Seeker?
Nope.
There's a real bad version of these
There's
books.
12 books.
Yeah. And
then there's a whole second series that takes place 10 years after.
Okay.
And there's 4 books in that. And then there's a prequel series that has 2 books. So there's like, all of a sudden, there's like 20 more books I haven't read. So
this set of fantasy novels, really engaging, really good. The author perhaps needs professional help.
Maybe.
Okay.
I will say, as you get into the books, after the first like 2, he really cuts down on the, women running around in red leather. So
yeah, that comes down a little bit. But they're good books. They were a really, really terrible TV show called Legend of the Seeker. It was really bad.
It was like made by the same people who made the old Hercules TV show, but they made it based on these books, and it wasn't good. It only lasted like 2 seasons.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Well, because basically with that too, they were like, let's kind of have the general idea of the first book, but not really follow anything as far as the book goes. We'll just have some of the same characters.
My favorite thing about these books, though, is that I read them obsessively in junior high, as long as most fantasy novels. Like I was deep in the fantasy novel train in junior high, and I was years later. I was working like one of those shitty restaurant jobs, and I was working with a dude who, liked to partake in a certain substance that's now legal that hasn't always been, and he came up as I was at the hosting desk, and I was talking about just reading books, and he's like, man, I only read 1 book. It was when I was in jail. And I was like, yeah? He's like, yeah, it was so long, but I think it was good. It was about this guy who could, catch arrows, and he could do. I was like, Are you talking about Wizards First Release? Oh my gosh, that was the book!
I don't think he catches an arrow till book number 2.
He does catch an arrow.
Not book number 1.
I think he does in book number 1.
He catches a bunch of them in book number 2, because that's when like he becomes a wizard and it's going to kill him. Yeah.
Anyways, this guy had only read one book in his life, and it's when he was stuck in jail. And we got to have like a 60-minute conversation about the one book this dude had read. It was fantastic. It was amazing. All right. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I've been listening to podcasts. I've been listening to books.
Yeah.
I also listened to a Dean Koontz novel. I don't remember which one though. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Joe Hill.
Which Joe Hill book?
I don't know. There was a guy.
Oh, the one with the guy. That's a good one.
Was it Heart-Shaped Box?
That's his
where he
first
buys
book.
the ghost.
Yeah, that one's okay.
Yeah, it was like $1.99. It was one of those like Audible deal of the day. So
that's his very first novel. Like it's all right. Like his later ones.
It was okay. Yeah.
His later ones are much better. That was like where Joe Hill first was like, I'm not Stephen King's son. I can be my own
It's
person.
very Stephen King-ish. Like if you didn't put a name on it, you would be like, "Oh, was this book written by Stephen King?"
The Fireman by Joe Hill is really, really good.
It hasn't been $1.99.
As well as that one where it's like Nosferatu, but it's written in like the license plate. See, so it's like a 4 Nosferatu. That one's okay.
The only reason I got back into Wizard's First Rule was it was $1.99, the Amazon deal of the day.
See, I always just use the credits.
I use the credits too, but then like I always buy things if they're the Amazon deal of the day. If it's something I'm interested in, that's how I get all my other books. So yeah. Go to daily deals for Audible.
I should actually get that paperwork done to make them our sponsor for this episode.
Audible. So, we could I could talk about Audible most weeks.
Yeah. I
listen to a lot of them.
It's there. I just gotta fill out the paperwork. So maybe it's the sponsor of this
episode.
episode.
Money if we do that?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm lazy / busy selling comics.
I should probably just fill out that paperwork for you.
Yep.
All right. Should we sell or should we talk? Should we talk about some comics tonight?
Let's talk about
Not
comics.
just KFC.
Yeah.
All right. So did we do the Rad Raptor Radio thing?
Nope.
Hey, this is Rad Raptor Radio. I'm Tim.
I'm Jeff.
Bobby.
And now that the show is officially started, we can talk about comics.
Right.
So I wonder how many people are still watching at this point. I really can't tell. There's people commenting though, so that's fun. Yeah. We're done with the KFC talk though, Jeremy. We have to get on to comics. So
what's your pick of the week?
So what we do, we all read a bunch of books. We all pick our favorite, and then we talk about other books that we read. So you can come out and buy books if you are not trying any of them, or you can get a hold of us during the week, and we can send you books and all that good stuff. Oh, shoot. My computer restarted. All right, I'm just going to have to talk about books from memory until I figure out if I still have my books that I did here. My pick of the week, though, hands down, Batman 63. So, Batman 63. Did you guys read it?
Yeah.
Did you love it as much as I did?
No.
Really? Oh, goodness. So
I'm so over this series.
This book was great. So what we have here
I was so excited when he had a different book on top of his bag.
I do that to throw you guys off the set. We jump back to the wedding. We all know, of course, everyone really excited about the Batman wedding where he's going to marry Catwoman. All of a sudden, we kind of start off right around that. He's getting ready to marry Catwoman, and they get married this time, strangely enough. She shows up, they get married, they're off on their honeymoon, they're running around the city fighting crime together, and out of the blue, what's his butt? His name just slipped my mind. Constantine. John Constantine shows up, and he's like, before long, you're going to be holding her in your arms as she's bleeding to death. And Batman's like, shut up, get out of here. And the next thing, Batman and Catwoman are in the shower together, and Constantine's there sitting on the toilet. And that's when you start to realize something's going on here.
It's not just like the Kevin Nealon sketch in SNL where he's like the bathroom attendant. That's not what's going on.
No, because it was like his personal bathroom, and Constantine was just sitting on the toilet. So I wasn't using the toilet; he was fully dressed.
I watched that sketch again this morning. It was pretty good.
But anyway, this all goes in line with my theories about Batman 62, where I said none of this is happening. He's just going insane. We get a little bit more clear to that as he kind of has it out with Constantine later on in the book. Batman's descent into madness. And it was great because it dealt with Catwoman this issue. We really haven't had a Catwoman dealing issue in a while. I thought this book, I can't believe you guys didn't like this. This book was pretty close to perfect. It remains, I know, I thought somebody else was supposed to write it. I can't find a single thing about somebody else even like ghostwriting under King's name.
No, it's the next one.
Is it the next one?
Yeah,
So
64 is the one that is the Batman Flash crossover that's coming up.
This is kind of the Batman Constantine crossover, sort of.
Well, no, it's 64 goes into the Flash issue after it.
Yeah,
and then,
I saw that's coming. So I wish this one threw me because I kept waiting for the Flash to show up and then he didn't. But I was happy he didn't. So I don't know how they're going to jump out of this to deal with the Flash stuff. Since
they're not going to. I mean,
as insane as going down with Batman
no
right now.
They have no respect for comic book readers week to week. They don't care.
Yeah, except for the fact that we're getting one great story here in 63 issues of beautiful storytelling, which is all you need to do is read Batman. The best book out there, the number 2 book of the year last year, and it should have been number 1. That's all I got to say. That's really all I got to say. You guys can say something if you want. You don't have to say anything.
I mean, my thoughts are well documented at this point. This book sucks. It needs to stop. That's kind of where I'm at. Detective's great. Tom King's great when you confine him to smaller amounts of stuff, but this is just...
I would say never listen to Jeff when it comes to Batman comic books. He's drunk with power.
I'm sick of Batman too. I'm with you.
I don't know what happened to all my notes this week. They are all gone. It's very depressing.
Is anyone commenting about how Batman's terrible?
Everyone likes Batman in the comics. Comments.
Who's drunk with power now?
I'm not lying. Batman's a popular book. You know, hands down, week in, week out. We started just like, I can't sell this crap. It's no good. And then we started doing what book is selling the most. And guess what book is always number 1 or 2 on that list when it comes out? Batman.
It's the same problem as I buy Batman every week. I can't stand it. But I will always buy the Batman book. It's just one of those things. Bobby buys it every week. He can't stand it.
It's a good book.
That's not a good measure of whether it's good or not.
We need people who know more about books than Jeff here. That's what we need. Yeah. Batman fans.
My book of the week, however, is a very good book. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, number 1.
I can't even slam your book of the week because that was really good. That was a very close second this week, actually. So
holy cow. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if any of you haven't given it a chance, if you have even the slightest interest in Buffy, whether you liked even a single episode of the show somewhere along the line, or kind of oh, that Buffy thing, that's cool, or if, you had an ex that was super into Buffy to the point that, you were around it a lot, you should read this book, because it is freaking amazing. It throws out everything that the show ever did, except for the characters. It goes back to stage 1, and it starts right there.
Hey, there it is. I found my list.
And kind of resets everything from the start. Say, we're going to tell a new story, which is good because it fixes a lot of the sins of the first season of that show, which the first season of that show, like a lot of shows, it was still trying to find its feet, still trying to find its characters, and,
First season was rough.
First season's real rough. But this, however, takes those characters that were developed by the end of the show and starts them almost like you would start them if you had the foreknowledge of where they were going to be. Like Willow, for example, starts off in this being a lesbian. She ended up a lesbian by the end of the show. Instead, in the show, in the first season, she's pining after the worst character in the show, Xander, who is a complete garbage fire when it comes to relationships. And in this, you don't have any of that dumb storyline or him trying to get with Buffy and her trying to get with him. And
probably for an interesting storyline the first couple of seasons, though.
I don't think so.
Develop them.
You go back, and it's
I've went back. I've rewatched all within the last year and a half.
Personally, I've gone back, and I can't.
Doesn't know. We already wrote with Batman. Jeff doesn't know what he's talking about. See, I talk right to the camera when I slam Jeff.
You do. This book, though, Boom kills it. And, the Firefly licensed property is real good. The Power Rangers, I don't give two craps about the Power Rangers. But They've been killing it with that property for a long time. The wrestling book's really good. I'm to the point now, just give all the licensed stuff to Boom. They do a really, really good job with it. Some of the other places, they have good ones and they have okay ones, but Boom just knocks it out of the park. You can tell that they take this stuff seriously and want to make it a good thing for the fans. And then they're really good about taking care of retailers too. They actually do full returnability. So all these issues of Buffy that we took a risk on, we're actually able to return if people don't buy them, which a lot of publishers don't actually do. And they gave us this really cool secret variant this week, which we ended up with there's only 100 of them total, and we ended up with one here in this store in Adrian, Michigan, which was really cool. They were all signed. 98 out of 100 of them were signed by the cover artist. 2 out of the 100 of them were signed by Joss Whedon, and we didn't end up with one of those. But still.
Yeah, come on, Boom.
Still, there's only 100 total of those, and one ended up here, which is pretty darn cool. And that book is just freaking fantastic.
It was very good. I'm very torn on one aspect of just having the restart. Because it's weird taking the exact same characters and resetting them. I almost think, again, I liked it. I very much enjoyed it. It was the second best thing I read this week, and there was probably a distance between number 3. But yeah, I almost think, because essentially what season 1 was of Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a redo of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie that had come out 10 years before that, with the best Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Christy Swanson, the best Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'll say that again. And then the show came out, and it was kind of the first season was kind of oh, look, here's the big bad. He's being resurrected. It's a vampire overlord. He's gonna, even the lore was kind of similar, except for the fact that they changed the characters pretty significantly. Her guy was, a crazy drunk. Luke Perry was the guy, and I know then they kind of oh, she had to leave her old school and come, except for the fact she was a senior in the first one and then was a freshman when she came, so it kind of spoiled that illusion. But yeah, I almost would have rather seen let's take Buffy, let's throw her in a place, and let's write Buffy stories without tying ourselves down to the character of Giles, the character of Xander, the character of Willow. Let's just do something new.
Well, I think that, if you watch that She-Ra show, which, am I still the only person who's watched that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that show's so amazing. You guys need to get your act together and watch it. But they took all the characters from the original She-Ra show, which is laughable almost. You would call them characters in the original She-Ra show, but they took the same characters, but they changed them and moved them in different ways, and they used those pieces to create a new, better 2018 story. And I think that's what this is doing too. It's using those familiar elements to give people kind of a ground to settle into, but it's its own thing. Like I said, because Willow very much in this case is several years ahead of where she was in the start of the show. So there is a Willow, but she's a very different person than she was.
In some ways, although they've kept, even dialogue, it sounds very Willow. It's not, you could have given us a different character than Willow. So, that's my point. We could have went back. Why not give us Luke Perry again? I remember his name in the movie, but
because we're the only people that care about that movie.
But what I'm saying is,
down to it, more people care about, and the back matter of this book is actually really, really good. So Boom has a reputation for doing really well with inclusive stuff, especially with the LGBT stuff. And when you hit the back of this, you get interviews with kind of everyone at Boom of why they were super excited to do this, and they talk about just how important that Willow character was to them growing up watching TV and everything else. And so you see why they really wanted to do this the way they did. And the Power Rangers book that Boom did was a similar thing. They took the same 5 characters from the Power Rangers show, but they told their own story with it.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna be happy about it.
Are you good? Alright. I think we're done with Buffy finally. I hate Buffy. I'm not jumping in on it. I think I'm going to go Teen Titans 26.
What? That's awesome.
I don't know. This is one of those weird weeks where there's a lot of good stuff, but nothing that I just absolutely loved.
Yeah.
But this was better than everything else by a little bit, I guess. I don't know. But I really like, since Teen Titans rebooted with a new team, I think it's been really good. I think it's something that nobody really gets excited about.
I like Crush a lot.
I think Crush is cool. I like the whole team. I like Jen, Crush. The only one I don't like is I can't remember, Rollerball.
The Rolly dude, yeah.
He's kind of funny, but I mean, I don't know. He's just, I don't know.
He's the one with the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. But no, this was cool this week. They Damien's been working with Red Hood, and he's going to steal something for Red Hood, and he's got to break into the Batcave to get into the house, but he leaves everybody else in the Batcave, and they're talking about being scared of Batman showing up, and Batman shows up, but it's a robot Batman.
I like the fact there's a robot Batman.
And it's the security system, and like, it's kind of funny because they almost get beat up by a robot, and it's just kind of amusing. But this book is just, I don't know, it's just good. Like, I don't know. I have a hard time getting into books with teams.
Yeah. They're
usually just not that good. But this has been surprising how good it's been, I think, since this new team got put together. And it's, I don't know, it's very just comic-ass comic book, but at the same time, it's done really well. And I don't know, I just like this book a lot. I like this team. Like, I like Damien. I like kind of how big of a pain in the ass he is.
Yeah.
And just how, he's just kind of just a spoiled kid. And, he's that kid that you probably hate, but he just, I don't know, he makes for a good comic book character, I think. And Alfred's in this too, and I think the key to anything Batman related to make it even better is you put Alfred in it.
Yep.
I don't know why it works, but it works. And then, like I said, that this team, like, he's kind of, Red Arrow is somewhat knows more than what she lets on. And she's kind of following Damien around. She knows he's kind of up to something. And I'm excited because the next one's going to be Teen Titans versus Red Hood. And I like Red Hood a lot, so I'm excited about that. But, I mean, they're trying to figure out, they think he's working with them, but it's looking like he's not. But I'm thinking he probably is, and it's just how it's going to work out. But this is just a good book. I don't know. I mean, I think this is a book easily anybody can jump into and start liking. And it's fun. Like, I mean, it's pretty hard to write a bad issue of this with I think the makeup of the team. So, but
yeah, I agree. And it's like when you compare this to like Young Justice, and I like some of the people on the team of Young Justice, but your most annoying person on this team doesn't hold a candle to the most annoying person on that Young Justice team. So
Kid Flash.
That Kid Flash is so good. Well, that and the Teen Lantern, that name is just so dumb.
Maybe Teen Lantern will turn out to be a lovable character, though, with just a bad name. You never know.
Teen Lantern. I'll take Teen Titans any day.
It could happen.
It's like green, but teen.
It could happen.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the next book I want to talk about, and it was probably it was the third favorite book I read this week, and I didn't expect it to be, was Man Without Fear, number 4. This book was kind of interesting. I almost didn't even read it. I had read 1 and 2. 1 was okay, I thought. 2 I struggled to get into.
That's where I fell off.
And then I'd missed 3 because it was last week, and so I was like, 4, I've got to go back and read 3. And I had a little bit of time today, and if I'm going to go back and read 3 and 4, And 3 was excellent. He's Matt Murdock has woke up, and you have he's like,
is that the Jessica Jones?
Yeah, it's got Jessica Jones,
2 was Karen
Luke
Page, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the Iron Fist guy who is not important enough to remember his name.
The Iron Fist guy.
Danny,
we
that's
sell
it.
comic books.
Danny Rand.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the 3 of them are kind of talking to him at different points of time, and Matt Murdock is telling him that he's given up the job as Daredevil. He's not going to do it anymore. He's retired, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it. Finally, it's Jessica Jones who breaks through, and he's like, "I'm scared," and that's kind of where number 3 ends. Is you realize that here we've got Daredevil, the man without fear, is now for the first time and arguably his life afraid. And so as book 4 opens up, he's lying in the hospital bed pretending to be asleep as Kingpin enters his room, and it's basically the entire book is Kingpin just walking around gloating about how it's so crazy how he ended up there at the same time, and Kingpin knows what's going on. Matt Murdock is afraid if he makes a sound, Kingpin will kill him, so he's just like sitting there terrified, pretending to be asleep. While Kingpin gloats about their first, even going all the way back to their first encounter as Daredevil against him, and he's kind of remembering everything in his mind, and at the end something snaps inside, and it was a really good read. 3 and 4 have been excellent. If you gave up on this, I would recommend grabbing 3 and 4 and giving it a go again, because I really, really liked 3 and 4. And
I'll do that this weekend.
Honestly, if I didn't think Buffy and Batman were so good, like Bobby said, it was a week of good books. I think Buffy and Batman were great, and this was the best of the good books I read, and it was a really good book though.
Now, when you read the Kingpin now, do you hear like Vincent D'Onofrio's voice? Because I'm fully in that mode.
Just a little bit, not always. So
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But no, this see though, I like 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't mind 1 or 2. I thought those were both I didn't think they were great, but I thought they were good. But I thought last week's was really good. I think this week's was probably the best one.
Yeah, it was really.
And the more, it's kind of weird because usually these small series like this start out, the first couple are really good and then they fall off. Down. This one's getting better. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm starting to realize how much I like Daredevil. With
too.
This, you know what I mean? Like
from the death of series and then into this, yeah.
I'm starting to realize how much I actually really, really like Daredevil, and
we're all gonna be Andrew by the time it's done.
This is
great. I thought 3 was a little bit, but it's because I love that Defenders team.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that Defenders team is one of the coolest teams. Right. I think Netflix screwed up by not giving us 4 more seasons of Defenders. Netflix, you suck. But
I don't know.
I love that team. But yeah, this book it jumped on right where the last one left off. Was so good.
Well, and it ends next week, right? That's
week 5 I think is the last week.
And then after that is when we go into the other Daredevil.
Daredevil number 1.
Okay. So I don't know. I really, I don't know. I think we like the other series so much. I think we were kind of hard on this book at first.
Well, it's a weekly series,
but it's for a weekly book. This has been the best weekly book I think I've read.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. It's just good.
I thought 1 was good. 2 I didn't like as much, but 3 and 4 were really. And you're right. Usually by the time you get to 3 and 4 into these 5 and 6 week things like that, you're getting a little on the board side. And I mean 3 and 4 were great. So so Man Without Fear number 4. You want to read them all, but it's a good book.
I'm going to talk about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 2. I really
loved it.
You loved this?
I love that book too.
I really loved the first one. The second one,
I liked it.
Okay. The second one, I did text one moment from it to the group chat because I thought it was one of the funnier things I read this week. It was almost like Deadpool type moment because there was the sound effect, and then Spider-Man kind of broke the fourth wall, and he was like, "Ah, that shouldn't make a sound," or whatever the sound effect was, and it was funny. But this is, of course, the Spider-Man book that's supposed to be following like the very like more narrow, like what's going on in his neighborhood, as opposed to like the greater conflict that's going on in Amazing Spider-Man. I really like Tom Taylor, and this kind of suffered from the same thing a lot of second issues suffer from, in that the setup for the story was real good. This probably gets you from A to B in a way that like issue 3 will pick up from B and B.
Got to see Boomerang running around the house in his underwear. I mean, or Peter Parker's underwear.
We got to see that in issue 1, though.
But I thought it was cool with I guess it's almost a reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
who is that, by the way? Is that somebody?
It's the first appearance.
Is that his first appearance? I thought it might be.
Yeah. And I don't
see. I was more annoyed by that than anything else, personally. Like,
I don't know. I like this book, and one thing too, I don't think we've even talked about the art in this book is really, really good.
Really it's good. Solid.
And it's I don't know. I mean,
it's by far my favorite Spider-Man book. Everything that I liked about the first couple issues of Amazing, and then I stopped liking, is what I love about this book.
See, I mean, and the thing is like we got bombarded with all the spider get-ins and all that for too long. But I mean, I think this is just turning in like these are going to be the two big Peter Parker books, and I think they're both good,
and this goes to monthly after this too. It's not coming twice a month after this, so
nice. I love it when he calls up his buddy Johnny Blaze too.
Yeah,
like that's
I
great.
Need a babysitter.
And, like he's like, I did come over all discreet. He's like, you flew as a giant fire comet,
Right.
I enjoy the comedy. I enjoy, as I said, the comedic Peter Parker underneath the mask.
I'm with you though. It's like one of the more powerful moments in that first issue was like the
May story. I would have loved to see moved into that some more.
And it's also weird that this is the Peter Parker centric book, and there's no Mary Jane. And the first issue, there's enough going on that I was kind of distracted from that. And then this issue, I'm kind of like, a little weird that like you'd think you'd get more.
Well, I mean, this whole book took place over 40 minutes, though.
No,
I mean it was.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand that. I'm just saying that.
I thought that's who he was calling to watch the kids.
That's who I thought too.
Yeah.
Like, it really
like,
would have made sense to bring Mary Jane in there in that moment, and that would have been like a really cool moment with the two of them. And then instead you have.
I was hoping he was going to have Boomerang watch the kids.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
that old lady's like, I can see you're inadequate.
Right.
I was really the guys. It's got a good comedy run to it. It's good. I really like it. So if I'm going to read a Spider-Man book, it's what I want out of a Spider-Man book. And the first couple issues, I'm very much enjoying it. Very happy it's going to be a monthly book because I love monthly books, Marvel. I love monthly books. So.
All right, Naomi.
I'm so happy you like this book because when I gave it to you, I thought Bobby's going to kill me for forcing this book upon him because it's not a Bobby book.
It's kind of cool because it's a slower week, and I think this is probably my favorite thing I've ever read out of all this new Bendis stuff. And I don't know quite what this book's trying to do at all.
Not a clue.
But it's whatever it's trying to do, it's doing it well, I guess. I mean, I'll read the second one.
So back to Star Trek talk. There's this excellent episode of Star Trek called The Lower Decks, in which is all about...
Okay, I got where you're going.
Yeah, it's all about when these ships are fighting and stuff. It's all about the little guys that are having to like make all this stuff happen. My favorite thing about this book that probably isn't going to be a thing going forward is it's all about the little guys that are affected when these superheroes come through and like plow through shit.
It's kind of the first 4 or 5 pages of the book are dealing with Superman came and then he came again and she missed it.
She missed it. Well, and that's all I'm getting out of this is this girl's like a humongous Superman fan, and she missed when he showed up. And it's kind of cool when she's going through and it relates to her being adopted. And is it I'm going to lose it now. The date or something matches up with like
the last
something.
appearance.
The
of Superman
last
in town.
appearance of like a superhero.
Yeah, when he was adopted or when
When she was born, wasn't it? Or when she was
something like
adopted,
that, yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
But and it's.
We're going someplace interesting. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's in that whole Wonderline comics, which is
And it's a really good book though. Like it's a really good. I don't know. This is probably one of the. I don't want to say like relatable or anything like that, but it's just this book really draws you in.
Yeah.
The thing that my only problem with this book is you get advertised the book you're reading in the book you're reading.
Right.
Like I hit that and I was like, DC, what the heck, man? Like just you could for a second go like maybe we shouldn't advertise the book you're reading.
But they did advertise the Wonder Twins and give us a Wonder Twins preview in the back. So
That's cool.
But I mean, aside from all that, like I said, you get really drawn into this story, and I'm almost wondering, is this not going to be a superhero book?
I think it is, but I don't know how yet.
Because we don't.
That's
know,
it. We don't know how yet.
Much about her.
Oh, the dude she went to at the end was ripped.
Yeah.
There's something
super ripped.
There's something going on with that guy. I mean, he's like looking like the Incredible
For a
Hulk
mechanic,
sitting there.
he's a little built.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like freaking like.
It's like Bane.
A little bit like Bane, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all of a sudden there's this walking action figure with all these other people. But and the other thing too, like we talk about art and whatnot in books. This book is awesome. Like the art in this book is so good. Like I know you guys had that joke about I think it was the Lando book. You ordered so many because you thought it was a J. Scott Campbell and it's Jamal Campbell.
Yeah.
I've got some covers I have that I bought just because he's drawn them.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize he was doing. I mean, I didn't know anything about this book. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know anything about it. This book's awesome.
Oh yeah,
this book
good.
is beautiful, and it's just
for being the other Campbell, he did a good job.
It's good. Like I said, though, it's a good book. Like it's definitely one give a shot. I guess if you're trying to find something new. I mean, if you're a Superman fan and want to read about another Superman fan,
I gotta tell you what, with Bendis kind of launching this thing and having two of the books, I was really excited for Young Justice. This book blows Young Justice out of the water.
I will agree with that.
This book was excellent. And this book
there is not a character named Teen Lantern anywhere in sight.
This book was what Bendis is good at, because it's really it's almost a character study of this person Naomi. It's very dialogue heavy. It's chatty back and forth. It's got the word bubbles bouncing.
Well, this honestly was almost my pick of the week. And it probably just wasn't because I'm kind of reading this like I don't really know what I'm trying
what it's going to be.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is easily. I mean, I know I've read other Bendis stuff in the past I really like, but out of all the new stuff, this is easily my favorite thing I've got out of them. So it's a good book. Definitely.
The biggest new mystery in the DC universe starts with this issue. So.
Right. Well, I mean, like the whole Young Justice, I didn't even make it 4 pages into Young Justice.
Yeah,
so.
Justice is rough. It's got potential, but once that team doesn't have to introduce itself, I think it could be great. But
I really like some of the characters in that Young Justice book. It's just
they make
really
Amethyst look
like.
so cool. Oh my goodness.
So
all into that.
All right. Next book I wanted to talk about tonight, Guardians of the Galaxy #1. It's kind of interesting that we've got a Donny Cates book, and here we are. It's the 7th book that we've talked about tonight, which is, I guess, a little surprising, a little down on what this book was. It wasn't bad at all. It was a good read. I enjoyed it.
The premise is so cool.
I'm looking forward to the second one. It's got a great premise, a great team. It just could have
Bobby,
been better.
what is the premise of this book?
Thanos is basically someone's going to take over Thanos.
Right. Well, they killed Thanos in Infinity Wars, but what did Thanos do? This part is the coolest thing ever, and then the book doesn't live up to this, but like this idea is amazing.
Thanos is talking to them from the dead. He like has this recording.
Yeah.
And comes back and is like, thought you were gonna get rid of me that easy, and I mean it's just cool. Like
that part's neat, and he's like, yeah, there's somebody out there.
Oh yeah.
I've basically uploaded my consciousness to the cloud, and it's gonna take over somebody. And they're like, crap, who are the likely suspects? They're trying to like
bring all the likely suspects into one place. So yeah, you start off, you have this gathering of like, they're not necessarily bad guys, but they didn't invite any of the Avengers because they're not good guys either. They're all very neutral characters in a way. Everybody from oh goodness, I'm trying to think of some of the people. Everybody ends up on the new Guardians team, with the exception of Groot and.
Well, I mean, it's like
I like Howard the Duck sitting there. I thought that's who we need Thanos to be is Howard the Duck.
It's a lot of like B characters.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, this whole team
Beta Ray Bill and
I mean, the team is made up of B characters basically, other than Groot and Quill, and I mean, Cosmic Ghost Rider shows up, but you knew that was gonna happen with this whole deal. But I mean, I think this is gonna be a really good book. I think the problem is none of us give a shit about Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm not the biggest Guardian. As I said, I always wanted to like Guardians because of the movie.
Right.
But what you have most of Guardians is not the movie.
No.
And the couple times I've tried to get into Guardians, I've always had very much the, we talked about with the Inhumans. I really want to like the Inhumans, but I've never liked the Inhumans book.
You did, however, read every single issue of Infinity Wars.
I did read it, and this comes out of coming out of the pages of Infinity Wars.
Yep.
We have Guardians of the Galaxy.
I do, my favorite Donny Cates history moment in this is the Thanos wins reference when Cosmic Ghost Rider runs into Silver Surfer. Like, that was great. And
that was good, yeah.
He's like, no, you killed me in the future. We're good now. We're fine.
Right.
Keep fighting. That was good. Honestly, I think the biggest problem was just the 97 characters that were in this. I think going forward, when you have that more centralized team...
You've narrowed down to the team. You got all of Nova Corp there, but,
Right, but I think once you have there's a lot of moving parts there that...
In the first half.
It was like the Uncanny X-Men problem, that I think that now that you got that narrowed down, there'll be a lot less like, who's this guy, and who's this, and who's this,
Maybe it's going to make Beta Ray Bill relevant, so...
I think it's going to make a lot of these guys relevant. I don't know. I think it's funny because, it's a Donny Cates book, and we're all, I guess expecting it to be this big deal, and it's still a good book, but it's not. I don't know. I think he's built himself up to dude's got a lot to live up to. Everything.
Yeah, that's now. It. I said, because I think I was talking about it, and
that's a pretty big twist he throws in right off the bat, though. Is somebody else is basically going to be.
Somebody's going to be the new thing. It's kind of where that book is heading as far as the thing.
And that's the thing. The next one, they're already advertising it. The next one is going to be who it is, and
that premise is fantastic. It's really, really good.
It seemed busy and heavy at times, though. And that's where it really got drugged down. It's funny because. As I said, Donny Cates made me care about the Inhumans.
Right.
And I've never read an Inhumans book I could even almost get to the end of, let alone enjoy.
Right.
And that Death of Inhumans was amazing. And so I think I was expecting that kind of level of, I love the Guardians now, this is so great.
Right.
You didn't necessarily get it, but on the other hand, you didn't even put the team together until the end.
Right.
You basically just had Peter Quill and Groot flying around. I'm happy, honestly. I mentioned I wish we could have got rid of Groot, too. I'm kind of Rocket Raccoon and Grooted out. I do like.
He tweeted today, Rocket's coming later. That's going to be like.
Donnie! So.
I don't know. At least he's letting Groot talk.
Yeah, Groot talks now, which I don't know how I feel about that either, but yeah. It is what it is. It's a good book. It's definitely worth picking up, number one.
I think number 2 is going to be really good.
And it could become a very good book, knowing the way Donny Cates is written. It could be in number 2. We could all be wanting to pick it as our pick of the week. So, yep.
You want to?
That was me.
That was you?
That was me.
I'm still thrown off. You had the Donny Cates book.
I know.
I'll go with Monstrous next.
It's funny because he had the Bendis book, so if you really
right. Oh my goodness, this is all backwards. Monstrous continues to be the really amazing book that neither of you have actually read, and you need to. All the trades are sitting right there. It's one of the best books coming out right now, with some of the best art. I mean, look at this freaking art. It's fantastic. You guys need to be reading this book.
Actually, you know what? I'll take the trades with me today.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have plenty of free time next week at the beginning.
That's true. I was like, probably not going to read it, but you have time to do that.
Yeah,
so.
I have plenty of time.
This is a cool issue because this is literally their victory lap issue since the last time it came out. It's now the winner of 5 2018 Eisner Awards, so they get to put that right at the top of the
yeah, look, they put every award they want to.
Did it win any Raptors, though? That's the question.
Yeah.
I don't see them putting on the cover.
We
that
pushed
any
hard
Raptors.
for it, but you all were like, well, how good can it be? I didn't even read it.
By the way, why didn't anybody put their Raptor wins on the cover? That's what I want to know. Next Batman should have, winner of 3 Raptors.
Yeah.
Batman.
So this book, if you're not reading it, it takes place in a fantasy universe. It's about the fantasy universe is divided between magic folk and people that are animal folk, and the main girl is possessed.
People folk and animal folk.
Yes.
Yes, the people folk and the animal
magic
folk.
And animal folk.
Okay.
The main character is this girl that's actually possessed by this Cthulhu-like monster that literally will come out of her and eat people, and yet it also has this thing where at the end of each issue there's here's all the adorable cats to tell you history about the world. It's this weird contrast between this brutal, disgusting imagery and then adorable stuff at the same time. This book is really great. It's where Saga was, honestly, in 2014, 2015, where you could still somewhat affordably get the early issues in the series. After the Eisner win, they did jump up, so you can get a #1 now at $60 to $80.
So you're saying we should get them now? You
should get them now if you have any interest in the series whatsoever. Because it's just going to keep on climbing. Whereas if you want to get a Saga #1 now, you're talking at least $300. So the second print #1 of Monstrous, there's less of them out there, so that one goes for a little bit higher. It's one of those weird examples. But this book is really good. People should be reading it. It has phenomenal art. It has an entire female creative team, which is just cool because you don't see that very often. And the product they're putting out there, especially for fantasy stuff, when you look at stuff like this looks like a very Tim book. He should be reading it because it's, he grew up reading all this. He's listening to nonsense fantasy stuff right now.
It is very nonsense.
So people should be checking out this book. It almost has a Dark Crystal kind of vibe to it, and that's probably the closest approximation for something that already exists in movies or TV that I can give. It's not a 1-to-1 at all, but if you want something that is kind of close to the vibe, it creates a whole world like that. But it's its own thing. People should be checking it out. It's winning lots of awards for a reason, and yeah.
Didn't win any Raptors, that's all I gotta say.
Because you didn't read the dumb book.
Yeah, you know what? Didn't win any Raptors, that's all I'm gonna say. When you won Raptors on your cover, then you got my respect, comic book industry.
Alright.
Hulk won some Raptors even.
I'm gonna talk about the Hulk.
Yeah, that's good book.
I've been trying to leave it for you, but you haven't picked it up yet, so...
I kept seeing it on your top, so I kept avoiding it.
I kept moving it, yeah.
Just hug it out, guys. Hug it out.
I jumped on Hulk because I got sick of hearing about it, and I'm like, all right, if it's this good, I gotta give it a shot. And it's good. It's really good.
It's freaking great. They're in hell right now.
I know when the last one came out was when I got to catch up from, I think, 7 till now, or 6, whenever that arc started after Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But
that's the Sasquatch was like the low point. It's been great since that.
This is really, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's hard to realize that this is a Hulk book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dealing with a lot of shit. I'm gonna be happy when they make the Hulk look like the Hulk again, though.
It's like emasculated.
Oh my god, it's like a giant version of Smeagol right now, and I just don't like it. But
it was cool the first couple times we saw it. I'm a little over it.
Yeah,
at this point too.
And I like the end where what he's dealing with and what he says.
Yeah.
Like at the very end, I'm like, oh shit, it's on.
Oh yeah.
It's
the flashback stuff with his dad. Like I've been mostly indifferent to the daddy issues stuff in this book going through it, but I was all on board this because they did such a good job like going back and like showing the stuff with his relationship with him, and like when you see like his dad, you see he's like little Bruce Banner's trying to play with like chemistry sets and his dad's freaking out about it, and then he's like a little kid like smashing. It's really good.
I mean, I don't know. I like how it's weird. I'm not religious at all, but the beginning's always got some verse in it, and I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen someone throw a ad on the front for a review on a book, and this is, I think, in the long run, this is going to be a really big book. And like, you know, as far as Hulk goes, like, I think this will be like some stuff that everybody's probably saying, you know, check out, read.
Well, my whole thing with end of the year was like, I kept saying like, I didn't think it when I was reading it, but the more this book sat with me, the more it like kept crawling up on my list. And a lot of people said that it won like book of the year a lot of places, and in reaction to that, it's here at least, it's sold out like crazy. Like we were swimming in issues for the most part, like especially Sasquatch on, and then it was like overnight we had nothing, and now they're sending 2 through 8 is all going to like to second and third prints, even though this book came out like forever ago, because all of a sudden the demand has just spiked in the wake of like end of the year stuff.
The first arc was really good. The Sasquatch part, I think, is what ruined it.
Yeah.
And then
the Sasquatch daddy issues.
And then I know, like I said, I missed all of the stuff that and I got to read it all at once.
The head in the jar stuff,
and it's I don't want to take anything away from it because it's really, really good. It's not one of my favorite books, but it's a book I look forward to coming out. You know, I don't know. It's cool. It's
been 12 issues and I still haven't cut it.
Yeah.
It's been close a couple times, but I continue to remain with it, and it definitely has, its high points are definitely high.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where it keeps going, and I'm gonna get really evil here. I mean, it's already there, but it's just gonna keep getting a little darker and darker. But I think you guys are onto this one though. Like, this is something that, if you're at all into Hulk, you know, or haven't read a Hulk book in forever, or like I want to read something about Hulk, it's a good one to jump on.
Next book, Bobby, we started talking about Star Trek today, so this is Star Trek Next Generation,
more Star Trek.
Terra Incognita number 6. This is the end of this run, I believe.
Yeah.
It finishes with that whole to be continued question mark, because of course this was based off of the Broken Mirror, which was based off of Mirror Broken.
Don't worry though, we have a Next Generation book next week.
We do a brand new day, 2 of them actually.
2?
So,
I know we have the Q one.
There's another one as well.
Okay.
I'd have to go see what it is.
I'm excited. I like Q.
There's
He's one of my favorite characters.
2 Star Trek books. Maybe they're not both next gen.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're again dealing. We've got William Barclay. He had been kind of put into stasis as the one from the Mirror Universe had taken over for him.
The last person to get caught up in holodeck porn.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. His was a lot more. Well, half is more awkward, but
it was,
differently awkward.
It was 90s awkward,
Yeah.
right? They couldn't show porn then, so
But
it was just like the girls are really nice to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this book was good. He gets back off the ship. Mirror Universe Data shows up to capture him.
Yeah.
Kind of beats the tar out of him, drags him away. Riker catches them. There's a big shootout. Mirror Universe Picard shows up and kicks some serious butt. And because again, he's Picard with the sleeves ripped off and all the muscles. Because that's very common.
This is the muscle book.
This is well, it's got the half muscle book, yeah. So
it took that long for 6 issues.
Well, no, that's the whole. That was the one before that.
This is the 3rd series.
They're kind of like if you went with chapters, they had chapter 1, chapter 2, and this has been chapter 3. These 6 issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my biggest complaint was because the first book and the second book had the same art, and when this book started, they bounced back and forth between the art, and they didn't bounce back and forth on the art.
Did they keep the bad art or the good art?
They kept this art, so they didn't.
So the good art.
I liked the other art.
The other art was so bad.
But they kept this art, even when they were in the Mirror Universe. And they definitely set it up for the next one. So William Barclay's given some sensitive information to Mirror Picard, and they're heading off to get their own fleet.
Such a weird run of books that exists. I kind of love it, but
it's great.
Yeah.
Because I some of the best Star Trek stuff is always the Mirror Universe stuff, and so they're just playing deep in that well. Like that's what everybody wants is Mirror Universe. So let's just give it to them. So. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Where exact does it fit into the timeline? It doesn't. But you know what? Who cares? It's good.
I'm going to talk about a book I really like called Exo-Sisters, or Exor-Sisters. I always say Exo instead of Exor. Exor. This book, I will continue to contend, is not a great book. It's not a book that I would ever push for any end of the year awards or anything.
Is that your Murder Falcon?
It's my Murder Falcon. I don't even know if it's that, because Murder Falcon probably is of more quality, but I just have a big dumb smile on my face every time I'm reading this thing. It's real dumb. You got these 2 twin sisters that are like
great thing to talk about. It's real dumb.
They're solving these demonic problems in a very Monster of the Week Supernatural or
in a real dumb way.
What's that? What's the show where they're all witches? What was that show?
Sounds real dumb. Wait, is that the one with Alyssa Milano?
Yeah.
What was that show?
I don't know, but I remember Alyssa Milano was in it.
Yeah. It reminds me.
Hey, Jen and Cody are both watching. What was the show where Alyssa Milano was a witch? So.
Yeah. It reminds me of that kind of show.
Is it Charmed?
Yeah,
Charmed. That's it. Charmed.
There's a new Charmed coming.
They're making another one?
Yeah. There are 2 sisters, and they go and fight demonic stuff, and they have copious substance abuse issues and dating issues and everything. It's a good book. It's solid. Is it ever the best book that comes out the week it comes out? No, it's not supposed to be though. It's just a real good time. So.
It's neat because our feed was hijacked about Jen and Cody are having baby talk. So.
That's amazing.
Although Jen did just text Charms, so.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's your turn. I've read issue 1 of that, and then I've not read any of the other ones. So.
My turn.
No, you take it. You take it with the cool
right.
Aquaman cover.
Aquaman, 44. This is the second issue after the team switched, and the first issue I didn't know if I liked because it started something completely new, and Aquaman's been basically on the same arc,
Forever?
Same storyline since Rebirth started almost.
Yeah.
So the first one was a little hard to take because it was just so different, and it's kind of about Aquaman basically losing his memory.
Jeff is so disinterested in Aquaman, he's just leaving.
Yeah. Hey, see you later. We'll just finish the show without you. But anyways, though, no.
We're on camera now.
this is good though. Like what this is doing is really cool. Like it's one of the weird things where the first issue wasn't so good, or it wasn't that it was bad. You're just like, what the hell's going on? And the second issue, it's like, oh, this is gonna be cool.
I almost want, because it went from the Drowned Earth to that.
Yeah.
And I'd been reading Drowned Earth, and I pulled back away because the last couple times I've tried to jump into Aquaman, I've just been left confused.
Well, Drowned Earth, all of that would have been a tough spot, just because it kept going and finishing up that whole run. Yeah. If you want to read Aquaman though, you just got to go back one.
I might do that.
But this is pretty cool. It's just pretty neat. Like this town that they find him. Like, he thinks his name's Andy. That's what they tell him his name is. And there's this woman that he thinks is a witch, and they're trying to tell him basically how to get his memory back, how to realize who he is. The thing is he's terrified of water.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's just, it's pretty cool. Like, I know there's probably a ton of people that went and saw Aquaman that probably could care less about Aquaman and maybe want to read Aquaman. It's a lot of times to say Aquaman.
Yeah.
But this is, you could, go back 43, 44 and you got a fresh start. And
it's hard though because the speculators have made it difficult. Like we and everyone else are sold out of this issue because of the first appearance in it.
Well,
great.
Sorry about your luck, but this is a good book. So.
Yeah.
Next book I want to talk about, Pearl. This was number 6. This wraps up this arc or chapter, whatever. Ben just kind of does with some of these books where he does them in chapters. So you'll get this, and it'll be a while before he gets another one, which is, I'm guessing, what's happening. Altogether, this has been a strange 6 books. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the creation of this character, Pearl, this assassin, Yakuza assassin, kind of jumped into a world I really didn't know anything about. So that's been kind of interesting as well. She's caught up between her kind of assassin or Yakuza contact, Mr. Mike, as well as this weird pornography industry, who the guy she is with is kind of involved in that. And so I'm 6 issues in. I'm still not 100% sure what it is. As far as, we kind of read, that Naomi book. I don't know where this is going. I'm still not completely sure where this is going as far as that goes. I like it. I get excited every week when it comes out. I've enjoyed all 6 issues.
Right.
I know Pearl very well. But what is it, And that's, it's not necessarily, it's not a horror comic, and it's not a superhero comic. It's not really a dramatic comic, and it's not, it's cool art, and it's well written for what it is, but I'm just not sure what it is. But I liked it. Yeah. So I'll be intrigued when Pearl Chapter 2 comes out, or however he puts it, so.
Right.
To see what, maybe I'll figure out where it's going. So.
Alright.
Pearl, number 6, though.
I'm going to talk about a good Donny Cates thing that came out this week, which is the Cosmic Ghost Rider trade, which I just went to grab, and then you guys gave me shit for.
It's because you could be ready for the show.
Oh my goodness.
I did show up really late.
You did. But Cosmic Ghost Rider, that series was one of our top 10 books of last year.
Did not make anybody's top 10 list.
It made my top 10.
No, that's fine. Because we were all like, hey, what's a book that's on everybody's list? Cosmic. And then we all sat down to write our lists, and Jeff was the only one who had it on his top 10 list.
I forget. I had to go through a divorce last year, and this book helped me through it because it was funny every time, even in the darkest of moments.
I enjoyed it. If I did a top 20 list, I think it would have made it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was probably 11 or 12 on mine.
It was funny because I did the same thing. I was like, this was like our hands down, it's got to be on the pick, and none of us put it on our list except Jeff.
I love this series, and that was probably my biggest letdown when I went to read Guardians this week, is that it wasn't just more of this, which I really could have dealt with.
That's really the only Donny Cates that's that, though. I mean...
Well, the stuff is, though, the Guardians book, though, Cosmic Ghost Rider's funny in it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
the shit
no,
he
he's
says.
great.
I mean, it's still the same. He's definitely the comedic.
This weirdly includes Thanos Legacy as well.
Okay.
Which is an odd fit to throw in this.
It makes sense.
Collection. Sorta. But it does. I like it coming out the same week as Guardians because you could grab this and Guardians this week and kind of, you know what's going on.
I mean that book is Deadpool on steroids.
Oh yeah, it's
great.
Freaking great. You have Cosmic Ghost Rider taking baby Thanos around the galaxy, giving him his first spear. It's great. We have another Cosmic Ghost Rider book coming up that's not being written by Donny Cates. Do you know who's writing that? Paul Scheer of The League is actually writing that. Remember the TV show The League?
I've seen it.
Yeah. Fantastic show. He's a really funny comedian. He's actually going to be taking over Cosmic Ghost Rider. And Donny Cates this week was on his podcast along with like Rafi of The League and all those guys. So
did they talk about fantasy football at all?
they should. I don't know.
I mean, we have it. I just want to mention I won the league again.
You should mention it. I came in a solid 7th place after starting off last for so long.
I didn't rub it in or anything at all yet.
We really needed more prizes for the consolation bracket winner. So
I don't know. I was happy with the prizes.
But yeah, if you for some reason skipped out on Cosmic Ghost Rider, they have it out in a convenient trade right now. So go ahead and grab it.
The best part about that is just Rocket Raccoon in the Groot suit in issue 3. That made me sincerely happy. So,
all right. Last book I got. I didn't know what this was. This War is Hell.
It's one of the
80 years of
anniversary, throwback issues.
It was all right. I don't know. It's not something I needed in my life.
I was into the horror one more. What was the horror one called?
Creepy.
I should have got that one.
Super creepy.
Yes,
like
it was called Super Creepy. Tim, good job. You're
Well,
good.
That's what I think it was.
That's why Tim's book was called Awesome.
I did write a book called Awesome. I don't know what happened to it.
It's still up on the Kindle store, I'm sure.
I can't find it anymore. It should still be up there, but I can't find it.
Oh my god. Now I gotta look this up. Anyways.
It was awesome.
I love it. The cover was just something Tim made in paint. He made like a star. It said awesome. Short stories by Tim Ambrose. It's fantastic.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost as good as your 4 film credits or whatever.
Yeah. But my favorite thing about it is that he's like, I don't know. It might be out there. I lost it. It's on Amazon Kindle.
I can't find
you
it on
can't
Amazon.
lose it.
I've tried to look it up on Amazon. I can't find it there anymore. So
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I no longer have a copy of it. I mean, I could probably put together some of the stories I wrote somewhere or other. And for a while, I was getting published making $5 or $10 a short story on a pretty regular basis. So when you're pulling in $10 a month as a writer,
My favorite. So we would like.
one
apply
story I
these-
sold 4 times.
Oh my god.
So we would send it to the same places, and they'd be like, "We'll let you have $10, or you can donate that back to the magazine." And Tim and I every time would be like, "Yeah, we'll take the $10."
I want the check. I one time got a check for $3.75 for a story I wrote. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
last couple books to go over. You don't have anything else, do you, Jeff?
No, I'm good.
Spider King Frostbite. If you remember last year, a book that we probably should have talked about for Book of the Year, and I completely forgot about it, was Spider King.
Really?
Well, it wouldn't have made the list. It would have been in my top 50. So, and so this is a one-shot continuing on with the Spider King saga.
Yep.
Here's the thing about Spider King. It came out early last year. So let's say you have a book that came out monthly in like February, March, April, and May, or something like that. Because I think the first issue was before the store opened.
No, it was the first thing you went, "Why didn't you get this, Jeff?"
Oh, yeah.
I got this
very
at
first
another
week.
store.
Very first week the store opened. So anyway, yeah, that's right.
And then I got it, and then it all went to our dollar bin.
But here's the thing, like nobody.
Tim's dollar bin.
There's yeah, for the record, I also said the same thing about RoboCop,
I
and
knew
that
it.
sold
He
out.
always brings up RoboCop. Never mind the other 14
Never
shit
mind
books.
all the Hunt for Wolverine.
Did you get beef?
I've got
You
my
gotta
hits
get
and
beef.
misses. I've had my hits
How
and misses
about Coda?
along the way. Hey, that was all Jeff was Coda.
Wait
Thank
a
you
minute.
very much.
What else can we pick out of this Tim's dollar bin?
All the Hunt for Wolverine nonsense.
Oh my
good
god.
stuff.
And now he gets to get Wolverine in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yep.
Anyway, talk about Spider King here. I remembered the main character. I didn't remember who anybody else was. And so in a one-shot where they're pretending that you know all these characters and you don't, it was really hard to follow what was going on. And I thought to myself, why did they make this book? So that's my thought on the Spider King. And I also read GoBots this week. GoBots, the first 2 issues were kind of a whole lot of fun and worth talking about it. By the time they hit this issue, they use the Rocket GoBot that none of us can remember his name. And he's got 4 astronauts and they're in space. And then they're being attacked by other GoBots in space. And so he puts them all back inside of the rocket. And then he gets taken into captivity in like a GoBot headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to kill him. And then they decide he's their friend. And then he escapes to some place on the planet where they're not. And they're like, you just got to let him go. And I don't know what the heck is going on. But then I thought to myself, I used to watch that GoBot cartoon, and you never knew what was going on. And so this is perfect. It makes no sense. They had this storyline about, like, the good GoBots and, like, the other GoBots were revolting against the humans. So you had this war. And now they shot us, like, 8,000 years in the future with Rocket GoBot on the planet and...
Rocket
GoBot. And we don't know his name. And we don't know what is going on. And it's very much like GoBots. Nothing makes sense. Nothing matters because it's the GoBots. So we're going to keep reading it because the art is pretty and it's full of GoBots who we don't remember their name.
The art is still absurdly amazing. Like, I sat looking through that issue for a long stretch. I don't know why that art is so good. It's annoying that it's so good.
It's still the book drags you back in. Like, you're like, oh, this is page turner.
The dude's GoBot collection that draws that book?
Yeah, I think.
What if he has all the GoBots?
I bet
Like,
he does.
He has saved all of his GoBots forever. Anyway, nobody likes the GoBots. I'm sorry. But this comic is a whole lot of fun.
Is it still baby talk in our feed? What's going on in there?
I actually lost it. Hang on.
Lost it like your book?
I like my book. Awesome. If you want to buy that, it might be on the Amazon store, and maybe I still get royalty. I've not got a royalty check in like 10 years, though, so...
They're probably going to, like, some... It's, like, collect at the state, one of those where you can, like, suppose... I have a comedy check at the state from Eastern Michigan University that I've been trying to, like, claim for, like, forever. It's just when you don't get a check, like, it's just outstanding, and you can apply for it. I keep applying for it because I'm at a time in my life I could really use that check. Like, I could really probably use it a lot more now than I could at the time when I was actually doing the comedy, and it says it's there, and then I have rights to it. Can't get that thing.
They both left.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both left.
Right. Oh, they're too cool for our show.
We apparently stopped talking about Charmed or Babies or whatever and started talking about GoBots.
No.
And my wife didn't even hang out with the Transformers when she was growing up, so she definitely had no idea who the GoBots were.
Right.
The sad Transformers that your parents bought you. Like, come on, I don't want a stupid scooter, Mom and Dad. I want an Optimus Prime. I want this rocket ship that nobody can remember his name.
Rocket
GoBot. Like, his head like, the top of the shuttle is his hair, so he has, like, this big head of hair.
It was like an afro, though. That's pretty cool.
No, he's not cool. There was nothing cool about any of the GoBots. I'm sorry.
But, like 15 years from now when Tim's going through his books, he's going to be like, GoBots.
Why did I buy this? I thought that the other day when I was going through my books. I was like, Archie versus Sharknado. What was I thinking that day?
See, that sounds like the most Tim book I've ever read.
Yeah, if there was ever anyone that had Archie versus Sharknado.
By the way, if you want to buy Archie versus Sharknado, I'd probably sell it for a smooth $25.
Auction.
I tried to trade it the other day for that Hulk 182.
I know, we've had some good trades going for the Hulk 182, and somebody wouldn't bite on it.
I offered an entire run of Immortal Hulk and Archie versus Sharknado.
No, I even threw in the good Immortal Hulks.
No, you were actually like playing ball. I have to say, Bobby. Like Tim's offer is not so great.
Wait a minute, that was like 13 books plus. I was gonna give you Archie versus Predator, and it's 4-issue run.
I don't know. I love it when there's something in the shop I want, and all of a sudden it's like the books I have just aren't valuable. All of a sudden,
Your books aren't very good.
Right? You know, like what are you talking about?
All right, and Jeff, I was gonna send these away to get pressed, but if you're interested for that Hulk 182,
If you pull out Archie versus Sharknado as one of the books you're going to get pressed, I'm flipping this table.
What is it? It's only
first
one.
appearance of Aquagal. Huh?
What's the... What? Okay.
I mean, she's
Why is that
she's wild, wet,
That's her
and
first
wacky.
appearance.
It's like at the top.
She is wild, wet, and wacky.
Come on. So Aqualad, he never caught on, and so they tried to do Aquagal to hang out with Aqualad because there was a time when every superhero had to have both boy and girl sidekicks.
What's
And so
Aquaman saying at the bottom?
It's all my fault. Aqualad. Oh, this is Aquagirl. Not Aquagal. Aqualad and Aquagirl have gone berserk. So see, they've gone berserk, and she's whacked. This is her first appearance in this book, and I'm willing to trade it to Jeff for the Hulk 182.
First appearance of Mira?
No, this is Aquagirl.
Oh. So not Mira.
Aquagirl, not Mira.
Not the one that matters.
Aquagirl.
Oh, okay.
Man. For 182?
You think that's a pretty good deal.
I don't know.
I'll even get this pressed out first and then make the trade. So I also got my Wolverine
What else
number
you got
1.
in there?
Oh, I got my Wolverine number 1 and my Jessica Jones number 1.
I can't wait to see that get graded because the other two that came with it got graded.
So.
See, the other ones didn't get pressed either, did they?
One came back in 9.2, the other came back in 9.4.
Like this Jessica Jones is really good, but it's got like 5 spine ticks. So only one of them has a color break, so high hopes.
You know, it's like CGC. I've been stuck on 9.4s.
I'm sure.
I want to break that 9.4 trend really bad with the last things
I got a
sent
couple
in,
9.8s. I didn't even see it coming, and it was my first 9.8s.
My last was 9.8, but I sent it with a group of things for just 9.8s. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know this stuff. I think I only got one chance at something being a 9.8. And I think I got one that's going to come back, sadly.
That was a fun
lower
group
than
of
what I
books. We're going to have to, I know you're going to be busy with baby stuff. We're going to have to drag you in that day just to like do that. People love watching us open those boxes. Oh my goodness. It's ridiculous.
Well, you just, what's in the box?
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
well, and with CGC, you never know what's in the box. I mean, I guess you kind of know what they're shipping, but sometimes you don't all get it in the same shipment. Or...
Well, my favorite thing is like I have no patience when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I'm like, we're not fast tracking these. No, we don't need. What?
It's the extra $10 per book to fast track it. That adds up so fast. Holy cow.
Yeah, it does add up fast, but it's $10. Spend it.
I don't know. Adds up fast.
I need to get these pressed first, and then I can send them. So.
Right.
I do have
See, that's
stuff
what
already
sucks
going
is
to
like.
the
That's what you said you had stuff going, so I thought I'd bring some stuff and put your stuff with it.
Well, that's
or
the
whatever.
worst part too. Is it's like you send stuff and they get that value break or like the date, you know, where they fit in. That just sucks because it's like, what do you mean mine's got to go separate or it's got to come back? I got pages to ship this one.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just start grading books.
Oh, sure. This one is an A+.
I mean, you know.
We're going to have a...
Go on, get some B- today.
I mean, we got about as much credit as PGX, right?
It were, probably.
Right. You know.
We do have the Raptor Awards.
Oh my God.
I want a book that's got like 3 silver raptors on it, like winner of 3 raptors. Here's Gideon Falls.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
It would be.
I don't know. Make some calls, Jeff.
Why are more? We have the premier comic book podcast that's coming out of Adrian, Michigan.
I'll give you that.
You know, well, I was listening to another podcast this morning, and they did the thing, where they're like, give us a like, give us this, give us that, blah, 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 sell us your children, all that other spiel, and it's like, all right, everybody does that. I don't know. It's like, this is part of the stuff I hate you gotta do, but you have to do it.
I was going to actually write that down so I remember to say everything that you need to give a like to.
Right.
Like, give us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever other service you have, whatever the reviews are. I don't know. Give us 5-star on everything, but especially on iTunes. And check us out on Facebook.
.com/Rad Raptor Comics.
And YouTube now. We got our YouTube channel up and going. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch tons of hilarious videos, some of them featuring me.
Someone come in and help Jeff with the video so he doesn't ever have to rap again.
Or just come and listen to a rap. Maybe Jeff will do a concert with all of his raps.
I did a solid rap last week.
I don't remember the rap. I know I watched it.
You're in Atlanta.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it without the volume on because somebody was speaking. And
It's probably better that way.
And he thought, "Oh, Jeff did a video."
Dude, Jeff's gonna get sued by Martina.
I did rip apart Bettina in my.
Yeah,
That's fun though. He's in some deep shit. Like DC's not gonna use him anymore now.
Do I feel bad for him?
No.
Okay.
Because he stole art.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I've been gone for the last week.
bad.
It's pretty
So-
bad. Like if you look at the pictures side by side, like he was basically just tracing other covers. And
Did we make him like one of our top artists?
we almost did.
Didn't he get the Raptor Award?
No, he came close to getting in the top 3, but didn't.
Whew, we lucked out there.
Yeah, I'm all about Mac now because we didn't make that bad call.
That's right, because Matt got in the top 3.
Max sucks. Oh my god. Those covers and that other whatever.
That is
book
the-
you drew, that's
That is the
shit.
conversation that's lost to time, sadly. And we don't get to hear Bobby and Andrew almost killing each other over who has a PhD because the thing died.
So sad.
It was fun times. But yeah, this is Rad Raptor Radio. Rate us on iTunes. Email us at podcast@radraptor.com.
Do we ever look at that? Do we have like tons of emails we should be reading?
We do, and a lot of them weirdly are directly to you, either about how bad Batman and Uncanny actually is, or how good Batman and Uncanny actually is, or one of them's just from Dan, who says that I laugh funny.
He did tell me that. He's like, why haven't you done my email yet where I told
Because
Jeff he laughs funny?
Whenever we have extra time to read emails, it's when you're not here, because you picked like 3 more books than the rest of us.
I talked about the last 2 really quick though, so that's
That is
okay.
true. Also, this week, the other problem is that I need either my computer or my phone. My phone's right now videotaping us for us to be able to do emails.
Use
so.
Tim's computer.
All right, one of these weeks, real soon, we'll do emails, and then I can respond to all of the Batman, X-Men love. I'm kind of like the lightning rod of this show. Like, Tim is a controversial figure because he reads Batman and the X-Men.
It's either Tim, you're right, Batman/X-Men is great, or Tim, you're wrong, Batman/X-Men is terrible.
I can stand here in the gap, I guess, and fight for what's right.
I noticed, where was your Uncanny X-Men annual this week?
I didn't read it. I ran out of time. I'm actually like 3 episodes behind with Uncanny because Marvel, I may have mentioned this to you, but I hate weekly books.
Oh my gosh. I ranted against them today in my video because like they finally weren't doing that weekly and they had the annual come out this week. Ridiculous. And then the next one's a double price book.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that on your video because you're like, hey, it's new comic book day, come buy comic books. X-Men, I hate you, you suck! And I'm like, yeah, that's a real great way to sell comic books, Jeff.
I would gladly stop selling that comic book because it's so frustrating.
I hate making money too. Ugh.
They hate their customers.
They obviously don't hate their customers. That is such a silly comment to make. They need their customers to make money. They want to make lots of money. The difference between Marvel and you, is Marvel makes lots of money and you don't.
That's the only difference between you and Marvel.
You and Marvel. No, that's it. That's all I've got.
Right.
So I know everyone's waiting for like more, but no, that's it. Marvel and Jeff really could be
Marvel
twins.
publishes comic books. I arguably do not. I don't know.
Yeah, same difference.
Oh my god. See, this is like the whole X-Men Batman argument all over again. It's just something else.
Yep.
Every week, this is what I sit through.
Yep.
Every
I
fucking week.
could argue with you about something, Bobby. What are you going to argue about?
I don't care.
Bobby has like 2 seconds into an argument, then he's just like, fine, you win. He's the French of arguing on this podcast.
We need the balance in the middle. Jeff and I are always going to find something. It's the relative thing.
The thing is, though, is like this Batman argument is like the pinkies up argument.
I forgot the pinkies up argument.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's you guys' whole childhood still going. Like, that's all it is like, well, he likes this, so I'm not going to like this. That's what it always is with you two.
It's true. Jeff hates a lot of good books because I like them.
I mean,
it's sad,
the
really.
Worst thing is, it's like this whole Batman argument. You didn't read the other half of it that sucked too. We have.
Yeah.
We have. Like,
yeah, I've read every issue of Batman. Bobby's read every issue of Batman.
I stand by Batman being great from issue 41 on. 42, somewhere there.
You missed the probably best 2 issues in the whole run.
Yep.
I did take 38 home to read, so don't worry about it. I'm all set.
That's not one of the best.
Hey, I mean, it's like I said, we've suffered through it. Like, you talk about Batman's the biggest seller. That's why, because all of us has suffered through it, and we're like, what do we do with the other 60 issues if we quit now?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
That is so a me problem that I think most people don't have.
Yeah.
But I keep reading the book I hate because I'm like, I already got 20 issues of this. I can't stop reading it now. Yeah. I've invested so much of my life into this book.
I'm like, can they please stop this so I can either, quit buying this every week? It's just, I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Sometimes they're just, you know what? And here's the thing in the end of it. If we all liked the exact same comics, this would be a really boring show.
It would be a very boring
We'd all read the same 10 books and talk about the same 10 books. And what works out well is we don't all like the same stuff in comics.
Every 2 weeks we know we're going to have this argument.
Oh, well, of course.
I mean...
in 2 weeks, someone else is writing it.
Right, it'll probably be great. Somebody will hate it.
That's probably me.
Somebody else will like it.
Jeff will love it. And I'll be like, this book stinks. Where's Tom King?
Tom King wrote something about the
Not much of a Flash guy.
That's Rad Raptor Radio. Should we call it a week?
We should call it a week. We'll see everybody next time, unless I'm snowed in with Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon. All right.
See ya.
See everyone. Bye.
See ya.